Get in there. Come on. Hello and welcome to the Villa Park podcast. It is me, Rich, and I'm back with your instant match reaction to Club Brugge 1, Aston Villa 3, and it is well and truly advantage Aston Villa in the last 16 of the Champions League. Make sure you smash a like button. Hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 6,000 subscribers. We want to hit 10K. So get your thoughts in, get your comments in, your thoughts on man of the match. There were some key moments in that game. There was different waves where Villa were on top, Club Brugge were on top, but ultimately Aston Villa came on top in the result tonight. Gives us a massive advantage going back to Villa Park next week. And let's go through the game and let's talk some performances. First of all, the starting lineup came out and we have some options now. We knew we had some players coming back fit. And Unai Emery went for Emi Martinez in goal, Ezri Konsa, Axel Disasi, Tyra Mings and Luca Dean at the back. Although it was Axel Disasi at right back and Ezri Konsa at right centre back. John McGinn and Yuri Tielemans in the middle with Rodgers just in front of them, Bailey off the right-hand side, Rashford off the left-hand side, and Ollie Watkins up top. And it was Aston Villa that got out of the blocks extremely quickly with a goal in the 3rd minute. And it was that man, Leon Bailey, with a wonderful finish. A free kick from Yuri Tielemans, kind of central towards the, just inside the opposition half, looped towards the left-hand side of the box. Tyrone Mings making a run off the defender, gets up really well and heads it back into the danger area. Leon Bailey is running onto it. He shouts, I think, Morgan Rodgers to get him out of the way. On the half volley, he just guides it into the bottom right-hand corner of the goalkeeper's net. And it is 1-0 to Aston Villa. And it was a fantastic finish and not a finish that you'd associate right now with Leon Bailey, with the kind of the confidence and the form that he's in. But boy, was that a great finish. And you're thinking, right, Villa, go on and get more goals in this game. Let's really take control. And it was Villa that were continuing to press forward. Bailey was getting into good areas. Rashford was getting into good areas. Morgan Rodgers was starting to get into good areas as well. And it was Rashford cutting in, playing a nice ball into Leon Bailey, carried on his run, overlapped him, Bailey putting him in, and he hits a shot and the keeper saves it with his legs. And that would have been 2-0 Aston Villa. And that would have really put the cat amongst the pigeons at that point and really put us in the ascendancy. But to be honest, it was Brugge that got hold of the game and their midfielders really did start to get control of possession. And they started to impose themselves on the game. It was maybe because we went so attacking with Bailey on the right and Rodgers in the middle, Watkins on the left. Rashford on the left, that left a lot of space in that midfield area, allowed them to get control of the ball. And then once they were able to do that, and we weren't keeping the ball up top as much as we needed to, Watkins wasn't keeping hold of the ball. Rodgers was kind of in a bit of no man's land, giving the ball away. And as soon as that happens, their fullbacks like to get forward, whether with the ball or without the ball. And they were starting to really get a grip on the game. And it was in the 13th minute that they scored their first goal, their equalising goal. And it was from a switch pass from the right-hand side across to the left. Axel Disasi kept a little bit on his toes, flat-footed, And he then, the winger gets the ball, carries on down that right-hand channel. Disasi can't really get up to him. And then the fullback, De Kuipers, runs on. It's Leon Bailey probably not tracking him as well as he probably could do, but he runs a long way. So you may be thinking the midfielder maybe picks him up on the cover, or maybe Disasi tries to get a tackle in or does something, but he doesn't. The ball's laid into De Kuiper really, really nicely, and he first time finish bends it into the bottom corner. But for me, again, could Emi Martinez done a little bit better with it? I didn't see him moving his feet. I saw him maybe move a little bit late. It looked like he might have been slightly missighted by Ezri Konsa just in front of him, but possibly could have done a little bit better, but that's 1-1, and Bruges really, really back in the game and then starting to really show the ascendancy in the game. But we knew we had the goal, and ultimately both teams were kind of really feeling each other out in terms of, yes, they were looking threatening with their territory and with some of their wing play and wide play. But then Villa, they knew that Villa had threat going forward with the likes of Rashford and Bailey in their wide areas. So it was kind of a bit of both teams sort of cancelling each other out. Bruges did have one really good effort towards the end of the first half, ball in the right-hand channel, and a snapshot that Emi Martinez did really, really well to get down to. And Villa didn't really have many other efforts in that first half at all, to be honest with you. Some pressure towards the back end of the first half where we started to get a bit more into the game, but ultimately a draw, probably 1-1 at halftime, was probably a fair result. Now, second half started kind of in a similar fashion, both teams not really knowing whether to stick or twist. Yes, Bruges looking really dangerous in certain areas and looking threatening in certain areas, but then Villa obviously as well looking to be a little bit more threatening on the going forwards, with the likes of Watkins trying to get hold of the ball a little bit more, trying to press a little bit higher, Bailey trying to get on the ball a little bit more, Rodgers trying to get on the ball a little bit more, but ultimately it wasn't quite clicking. It wasn't quite happening for either side, to be honest. And then the game needed something to kick it into life. And you could see Unai Emery getting more and more frustrated, more and more agitated on the sidelines. And it was on the 64th minute that a quadruple substitution happened. Marco Asensio, Jacob Ramsey, Boubacar Kamara and Matty Cash all coming on for Rashford, McGinn, Bailey and Disasi. Bailey, after his goal, took it really well, couldn't really get anything more into the game. Rashford, again, a couple of little runs here and there, but again, couldn't really get into the game. One right at the end of the first half where he held off the defender really well, but just couldn't quite get his foot around a cross. McGinn was battling in that midfield, but we needed some more control in that midfield. And Disasi, to be honest, looked a bit cumbersome at right back. I don't know whether Konsa would have been better, but then the central defensive partnership of Konsa and Mings, which we'll come to later, was much more solid and was exactly what we needed. So, look, the substitutions will turn out to have played a massive, massive part in this victory. And it was right from that off. You can tell the options that Unai Emery has wanted, the options that he now has to freshen the game up with half an hour to go, was evident to see. And we've seen it in multiple games since the January transfer window. And it was Ramsey and Asensio that linked up really well down Villa's left-hand side. Ramsey picking it up just in the area that he likes to, in that inside channel, takes on the fullback, cuts it back to Asensio, who lets the ball come across him, hits it with his right foot. Keeper saves it, Mignolet saves it up into the air, and he looked like Watkins is going to take the shot, but Cash shouts him, tells him to leave it, and lo and behold, Cash blazes it over on the volley. But that was, again, a sign of things to come, a sign of where we could hurt them, and with the quality that we had, with the substitutions that we made, we could hurt them. But the key moment of this game was just after that opportunity. A great bit of play down the left-hand side for Club Brugge. Beats Matty Cash, the winger, beats Matty Cash on the left-hand side for Bruges. Gets a wonderful cross in. It goes over Mings, it goes over Konsa, over Luka Dean as well. And the striker heads it down back where it's come from. So Emi Martinez doesn't have a chance. He dives, flailingly tries to dive, but Tyrone Mings somehow on the line manages to get the faintest of touches with his toe just to keep it just wide of the post. It was unbelievable, and if anything made up for the error that he made in the group stages game against Club Brugge, it was that moment. It was absolutely phenomenal, and to top it off, the player didn't even get a corner for it. So Mings doesn't even get the credit for having that effort saved off the line. But it was an absolutely key moment of that game, because had Bruges got the lead and gone 2-1 up, you would have felt that they would have gone on maybe to get more goals and really take the ascendancy into the next leg. But it was Aston Villa that grabbed the initiative. And we've been crying out for Morgan Rodgers to actually just play with a bit of freedom, play with a bit of confidence, do what you want to do, rather than trying to take touches and take too many touches and play too intricately. And he moved out to the right-hand side of midfield with the substitutions, and we get the ball out to him on the right-hand side. He's got a bit of time and space. And you see Ollie Watkins make the run off the central defender. He whips a first-time ball in. Defender can't do anything because if it goes to Watkins, he's got a clear open goal or a clear goal to put it into. He has to slide into it, and Meshele puts it into his own net past Mignolet, and it's 2-1 to Aston Villa in the 82nd minute. And then you think, right, just keep it solid. Nothing stupid, nothing silly at all. We carry on being threatening going forward. You can see Asensio getting the ball into areas because Club Brugge have had to make substitutions. They've had to open up that bit more because they want to try and get a goal. So you see Asensio picking the ball up into space. You see Ramsey picking the ball up in space. And now he's suddenly getting players forward. Matty Cash was a key substitute at this time because he was getting into the box. And it was on this moment that we got our third goal, or the opportunity to score our third goal. Ball comes in from Luca Dean, a deep cross that goes right to the back post. The defender tries to bring it down from the air instead of clearing it. It rolls away from him. Matty Cash has held his run a little bit. He takes a touch away from him. The defender leaves a leg in and trips Matty Cash over, and it's a penalty to Aston Villa. And up steps the main man, Marco Asensio, whips it into the bottom left-hand corner from where he is. Absolutely brilliant penalty, even loses his foot in a little bit. And Aston Villa take a 3-1 lead into the second leg next Wednesday. And you could not have asked for anything more. And to be honest, I think every Villa supporter around the 80th minute would have taken a 1-1 draw to take back to Villa Park. But to take a 3-1 victory is absolutely incredible. But some of the performances, I don't think it was a night for the forward players. Ollie Watkins was a frustrating night for him. He put the effort in, he put the running work in, but I don't think he was threatening enough. I don't think he did enough away from the central defenders, running the channels, doing what he usually does, running off his men. He didn't do enough of that. And when he was picking up the ball, he was under a lot of pressure. And then he was having to try and play intricate passes that didn't work for him. Morgan Rogers, up until that time when he got put out on the right-hand side, ironically, he was having a frustrating night, giving the ball away consistently. And what was happening is because those two were giving the ball away so much, we were then put under pressure going the other way, and that's what allowed their fullbacks to get forward more and more and more. I didn't think Disasi looked comfortable in that right back position and looked a little bit cumbersome. Didn't quite know whether to go forwards, didn't quite know whether to hang back, and that was frustrating for him. Wasn't maybe Rashford's night, to be honest with you. He was a little bit off it. Bailey, great goal. And really, really, really buzzing for the first 10, 15 minutes, but then kind of filtered out of the game a little bit. And that's the key to having the substitutions. I thought Yuri Tillemans was excellent again in that midfield. He was getting a lot of grief from their supporters, but kept it going, kept the ball ticking over. But for me, the two central defenders were absolutely fantastic. Ezri Konsa and Tyrone Mings were absolutely brilliant. And certainly, if there was any redemption from the mistake that he made on the night in the group stages at Bruges, it was Tyrone Mings. He was absolutely phenomenal. And for me, I think he has to get the man of the match tonight. He was just imperious at the back. Any ball that came in, he headed it away. He was good on the ball as well in certain times. A couple of times, Emi Martinez put him under pressure, but he did very, very well to deal with it. And as I say, the substitutes did really well. All of them made an impact when they came on. And to have the ability to bring players on like Boubacar Kamara, Marco Asensio, I mean, just to say what a player we have. He has scored 5 goals already for Aston Villa since he's come to the club. He just knows when to finish. He knows what to do. He knows when to pass it. He knows when to hold the ball. He just looks an absolute class above. And if he can take us anywhere near to winning a trophy, it is going to be incredible. We're in the quarterfinals of the FA Cup. We have a fantastic opportunity now to get to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. And these signings have been absolutely wonderful. So let's just enjoy the ride, people. But yeah, for me, Tyrone Mings, man of the match. And we've got to now go into next Wednesday's game. Give ourselves nothing silly. We know that Club Brugge are very, very dangerous on the break. We know they've got dangerous players, but we can also hurt them. And I'm sure, will also score goals. So yes, let's take it into next week. Let's be really encouraged about this. Let's be really positive about this. And let's take this momentum into Brentford on Saturday, because we've beat Cardiff. We've now won tonight away from home as well. And we can go to Brentford away from home and beat them. And then we can take that momentum into next Wednesday and then go into a nice 2.5 week rest into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, into the quarterfinals of the Champions League, and hopefully into the top 6 or 7 in the Premier League. I mean, what a time it would be for Aston Villa there. I'm going to leave it there. Thank you all for watching. We'll be back with talking tactics, maybe a full match reaction with the boys as well. Make sure you smash a like on this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Help us on the road to 6K. Get your comments in below. Do you agree with me, Tyrone Mings, man of the match, or was there anyone else that caught your eye? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. And do you think we have every chance of getting through into the next round of the Champions League? Thank you for watching. And as always, remember, we'll follow the Villa.